Let's get this party started. All right. So, tonight, as I promised, it's not going to be a killer workout. It's just going to be enough that you'll be happy that you got a workout done. I called this one, yes, it's easy, comma, not. And the only reason I called it that is because you're going to have some little sections where it's not going to be your endurance zone. It's going to be just above that endurance zone. So, you know the drill to get started. Nice, easy gear, small ring, easiest gear in the back. Make sure your water bottle is full. Have your fan and your towel ready. And just spin your legs for now. I know a lot of you guys have already been spinning for a while, so just keep that spin going. I also have a whole list of things to share with you tonight. 8, well, more than 8, a whole list of weird and wonderful facts that you didn't know about cycling. Some of these are pretty bizarre. Some of these are kind of cool. So we're going to go through those as we move through this workout. I hope that maybe some of you got a chance to get out over the weekend. It was a very nice day on Sunday. I was able to get out with the club, did part of the ride with Randy, and then he had to head on back to go to work. And it was actually a very nice day. Kind of got down to shorts and just some light arm warmers, so it was really nice to be outside. And then I don't know if any of you were watching women's college basketball. It's definitely fun to watch right now. So that Iowa game against Ohio State was pretty exciting. I literally rode back as hard as I possibly could from the middle of the ride so I could get back in time for the game, and literally pulled up into the driveway with the clock had just started on the game, so I missed maybe the first 2 minutes. So I was really happy to make it back to watch that historic event. All right, so we got 3 minutes into this warm-up. Here's how tonight's going to go. I want you to really, really, really concentrate on keeping yourself in the zones that I'm asking you. So I'm giving you the right to go a little bit easier tonight because you're going to stay within that endurance zone or your zone 3. So what should that feel like? You shouldn't be breathless. You shouldn't be struggling. Your legs should not be burning. You should be at a pace that's comfortable. And I'm going to give you cadences in hopes that you can hold them during those sections. Gear suggestions that you can utilize. But I want you to make sure that you're staying in those zones because it's important to work in that zone. Now, after we do each endurance type effort, they're going to be timed, of course. And after each one of those, we're going to do 1 minute of a hard effort where I want you to go as hard as you can for that 1 minute, just to kind of push the body a little bit. And that 1 minute, of course, you need to pace yourself. Don't bust out of the gate too hard at the beginning. Lose your ability to hold that pace through that minute. So that's why tonight is really about patience, but it's also about patience during that little 1 minute harder effort. So your hardest effort, or in terms of time, tonight is going to be 5 minutes long. So I know that you can do 5 minutes of endurance because you've done it previously. So this will be a good test to see if you can go at a pace that is right at that zone 3. All right, so let's get this started. Be in your small ring. Give me just 2 harder gears. I want you holding 100 cadence for 30 seconds. Let's go. 3, 2, 1. Pick it up, bring it up. And yes, if the legs burn here, that's what we want. We want you to get warmed up. We want you to bring those legs to that lactic acid to the surface to get the action going. Get the muscle fibers firing. I want you to shift down 3 harder gears. Let's make it 4. Standing up. Hold this for another 30 seconds. Right over those pedals. Nice and comfortable in the upper body. Hands should be in the hoods. Sitting down. Back up those 4 gears. Easier. Back to that 100 cadence. I'm dead on to 100 if you're following my leg speed. If you feel yourself starting to breathe a little heavier, that's okay. That's what we want. 4 harder gears. Standing up. Maybe 5. Make sure you have enough resistance under your feet. If you need an extra gear, go ahead and go there. Coming up onto 2. Sitting back down. Shifting back up. However many gears. If you went 5, get that cadence back up to 100. Should be a relatively easy gear. It's the cadence that might challenge you. Shifting down 4 or 5 gears. Standing up. It's kind of nice when you start feeling the body getting ready. Your breathing settles in. The legs start working a little more efficiently. Sitting back down. Shifting to that easiest gear or the gear that you were in previously to get you to 100. Work that 100 solidly for 30 seconds. Holding it strong. Shifting down 4 or 5 gears. Standing up. The legs are getting ready. Unfortunately, the humidity in the air isn't going to help us tonight. Sitting back down. Back to that gear you were in previously. Getting to that 100 cadence. Lots of humidity in the air. And this kind of workout, make sure you have that towel. You are going to need it. Down that 4 or 5 gears. Last time, standing up. think we're well warmed up now. Three, two, one. Sitting down. Easiest gear. Take a drink. Little recovery. So this is going to be an up and down ladder. So 1 minute to start in that endurance zone with 1 minute hard and then 1 minute easy. So think of it as a block. Then it's 2 minutes with 1 minute hard, 1 minute easy. 3 and 1 and 1 minute easy. So you're always going to get an easy in between that block, which is good to give you a little bit of recovery. You shouldn't need a lot, because if you're staying in that right zone, then you're not going to need a massive amount of recovery. So use your metrics here. Heart rate, if you have it. Power, if you use it. And if you don't have any of those, keep yourself as you can for the endurance efforts as close to 90 as you can get there. So that means you got to pick the right gear to keep you in the right level. In terms of your rate of perceived exertion, let's say we want you to be around a 6 or a 7. So you're not pushing too hard, but don't be surprised if you start to sweat a lot. So for the first one, we're going to do, why do I have 2 minutes? Oh, I'm starting at 2 minutes. So 2 minutes is our first effort. It's going for small ring. You pick the gear. 2 minutes at a 90 cadence. Let's go. I'm starting at 2. And it is a 2-pager. And we're going to finish with 2. I guess I felt that 1 minute wasn't long enough for you to settle in. Now, if you're getting too high of a cadence and you're hitting like 100, then you're probably in too easy of a gear. So really manage that. For this first 2 minutes, pay attention to your gearing, pay attention to your effort, pay attention to that cadence, because you want to match that for every effort on the endurance side moving forward. Now what you can do is you can try to just stay in the same gear, increase your cadence for that 1 minute hard, and see what happens. So you can play around with that 1 minute effort at the end of each set. So if right now you're breathing so heavily that you wouldn't be able to talk to me in sentences of more than 1 or 2 words, then you're going too hard. Use your voice. Talk to yourself if you have to get a sense of where you are if you don't have those other metrics. So we're coming up. In 15 seconds, I want you to give me a 1 minute effort harder than what you're doing right now. Either increase your cadence, change the gearing, whatever works. 3, 2, 1. I think for me, I'm just going to increase my cadence. Stay in the gear I'm in, which will ultimately increase my power. Put me right into zone 4, which is what I want to do. So if that's the case, and you're happy, you're doing the same thing, remember the gear you're in. Keep holding this effort. Don't let it drop. A minute always seems longer than it is. 15 to go. You got this. Just think, next one is 3 minutes long. 3, 2, 1. Easy gear. Take a drink. 1 minute easy. Two-minute effort done. Now you're going to see the pattern moving forward. 3 minutes is our next effort, followed by that 1 minute of a little harder effort. You don't have to go. Remember, you probably can't hold zone 5 for 1 minute. So you want to just bring up the effort enough that you're working it a little harder than you did previously. All right, go ahead and find that gearing again. Get yourself settled in. 3 minutes, right in that endurance zone. If you can hit 90 and hold it there, that's what we're looking for. I want you to pay attention too about what's happening as we move along and your body starts to get warmed up. You're going to probably jump that 90 cadence in the same gear. So hold yourself back. Keep it consistent. Make sure you're not working too hard. It's 3 minutes. So what's my first weird fact? I'm sure we all know this, but wooden bikes made out of wood, were actually a thing once. That means the wheels, the frame, everything was made out of wood. But of course, as you can probably predict, people were crashing, bikes were breaking, so it became something that was a major fail. They had to find a better way. You might have seen recently, they've made bikes out of bamboo, which is pretty cool. Bamboo is probably one of the strongest materials you can get. And when you put them in a frame geometry, they can actually get stronger by the linkages that they have. And the frames look pretty cool, the way they polish the bamboo. Don't have any idea how much they cost though. And such a specialty item. I'm sure it definitely has its price tag. So don't ride a wooden bike. You might not last till the end of the ride. But if you want to buy the longest bike, it was 135 feet and 10.7 inches. A company called Santos at the University of South Australia built this bike in 2015. Guinness World Records required those that made it that the bike had to prove that the bike could travel a minimum of 100 meters. All right, bring that cadence up. Make a shift. 1 minute harder. Get yourself in zone 4. Push it a little harder. Force yourself to work for just this minute. 30 to go. Allow yourself to breathe naturally. This is what will happen on the road sometimes. Cruising along, hit a climb, heart rate goes up. Effort gets harder. 3, 2, 1. Easy gear. 1 minute easy. Moving along. Get a drink. Towel off. Turn on your fan if you haven't done so. You definitely need to be cooled off for this one. That makes me think of, at this time of the year, it has to be the hardest thing to decide what clothes to wear when you go outside. So I want you to actually wear less than you think. More will make you feel so hot. You'll feel so miserable. And you'll be saying to yourself, oh my God, why do I feel so badly? All right, find that gear. Back to where we were. 4 minutes. Keeping that cadence at 90. Nice and steady. And again, you might find yourself feeling like you can jump to a higher cadence, or now your effort is a little higher than you want it to be. Keep that effort right there. The sweat is going to start pouring off. This is your fat burning zone. You're going to start burning that fat. So back to our longest bike. To be in the Guinness Book of World Records, it had to travel a minimum of 100 meters without any of the riders touching the ground with their feet. And it achieved that. So that's why it got in the Guinness Book of World Records. So they were requiring these guys to have riders on the bike. Does anybody believe that a bike can actually stay upright without somebody on it? It can. Science indicates that a bicycle can stay upright without a rider as long as it is moving at 8 miles an hour or faster. So if you feel like sacrificing your bike to test that out, take your bike in a parking lot, push it at 8 miles an hour, and see if it stands up. I think I believe that it would happen. But guess what? I'm not going to give it a try. That's the last thing I would want to do. Have one of my bikes hit the ground. It's a good point to make. So our bikes need to be stored in a nice dry place. We need to care for our bikes by cleaning them regularly, lubing the chains, checking the tires, making those yearly maintenances on them. So treat your bike like your baby, with a lot of care. So this one's 4 minutes long. You're 3, 15 in. You know the drill. When we get to that 4 minute mark, you're going to increase the gearing or increase the cadence. to move you into that next zone. That's the beauty of having power. You can easily see how you move from one zone to the next. Get yourself ready. If you need a drink while we're doing this, don't hesitate to get one. 3, 2, 1. Bring up your effort. Gonna make some nice trainer art tonight. Little boxes. Hoping that all those boxes look similar. Nice, even, circular pedal strokes. Find that position on your bars where you can bend those elbows. Keep your feet nice and flat. Use every muscle that will help you keep these pedals moving. 3, 2, nice and easy. Woo! Almost to the 5-minute one. Moving through this workout fast. Take a drink. Finish that bottle by the end of the day. All right, coming up on the longest effort of the night. 5 minutes. Same agenda. 90 cadence. Right in zone 3. No higher. Allow yourself to enjoy these efforts. Here we go. Find your gear. Settle right back in. Now, as I said before, you might find yourself needing a little harder gear. You might be getting your cadence up. If you get your cadence up to 95 or 100, and you're getting warmed up, you might want to give yourself a little harder gear. Just to settle yourself down and benefit from this. But if you shift to that harder gear and your heart rate starts to jack up, or your power starts to jack up, or you feel like you're moving into your next rate of perceived exertion, then go back to that previous gear. It's all about patience here. Cyclists are cool. That is a fact. 2014 psychological study found that cyclists tend to demonstrate a unique blend of intelligence. Yes, we are smart. Generosity. We do care about others. And the cool factor. So, congratulations, because you guys are in a very elite group of cool cyclists, according to that study. So if I could ask you what you think the price of the most expensive bike sold at Sotheby's would be. What I might do is think about that one. Hold that question in your head. And at the end, everybody has to give me their guess. So I will ask you by name what you think the most expensive bike. It was called the butterfly bike. It was auctioned off Sotheby's. Doesn't have a date, so I can't give you a reference. I don't want anybody going on their phone. Earl, you're not allowed to ask Alexa. Nobody's allowed to say, Siri, tell me what's the most expensive bike. This has to be a true guess. Let's keep it real. This bike is the world record breaking bike as the largest rideable bike, which is crazy. The wheels were 10 feet, 9.92 inches. So think about it. A basketball hoop is 10 feet off the ground. These wheels were bigger than that. It was built by a German named Didi Sneeft, and he actually did ride it, surprisingly. Cycling is 3 times faster than walking. No duh. On a bike, you can travel 3 times faster than you can walk for the same amount of energy. So that means it's a pretty good way to travel. We're almost to the end of our 5 minutes. Just like the other efforts, we're going to move into that 1 minute of accelerated effort. And this is our longest effort of the night. And this workout is moving fast. Just like I thought it would. As you guys always tell me, whenever I talk a lot, it goes faster. All right, pick it up. Bring that cadence up. Bring the effort up. Feel yourself having to work for this minute. It's not an easy minute. Consistency from start to finish. 30 seconds. Finished and to go. Sure you're feeling yourself. Breathing a little harder. That's what we want. Forcing you to work. Almost there. Don't let the effort drop. 3, 2, 1. Easy gear. Nice job. Take a drink. Moving on to page 2. Oh, forgot to tell you. It's a 2-pager. That's for you, Kristen Hellstrom, if you're listening. She always cringes when I say it's a 2-pager. All right, guys, so back down the ladder. We are now heading into the 4-minute effort. Now it's just going to get easier. You're going to love this because there's not a lot of hard left. All right, find that gear again. Get yourself right at that cadence. 90 is what we're looking for. Right at that effort level where you're not breathing too heavy, keeping it in the endurance zone. So, believe it or not, 100 million bicycles are manufactured worldwide every year. That's a lot. Be interesting to know just how many there are manufactured in the United States. We do have a number of bike manufacturers here. Cannondale, Trek, Alchemy. Could probably name a number more if I had a consistent list. Ellis Cycles, he's a frame builder that we met. His bikes are beautiful. And believe it or not, if you're in the market for a bike, right now could be a good time. Bike manufacturers or bike shops trying to get rid of their last year's inventory. Starting to get some for this year. You might get lucky to find something interesting. The fastest recorded speed of a human riding a bike was 183.9 miles per hour. It was set in 2018 by a guy named Dennis Mueller-Kornick. Now, I'm sure he had some kind of specialized setup. Doesn't give me that information, but it'd be interesting to see what his bike was actually looking like. I'm sure he was on the salt flats or somewhere where there's super flat terrain. I'm sure he probably couldn't get the record if he had too much of a tailwind. So believe it or not, based off that other number, there are twice as many bicycles in the world as there are cars. Those countries that commute a lot by bike, they're helping the numbers. The first commercially sold bike was nicknamed Bone Shaker because its rigid frame and lack of springs or shock made the bike ride a bone-shaking experience, and it weighed 176 pounds. They were first sold in 1868 in Paris. 3, 2, pick it up for that minute. Increase your cadence. Come on, we're going down the ladder. These now are really when you get the adaptation. When the body's tired, you've been pedaling a long time, you're starting to feel the fatigue a little bit. I know you're going to block that out. Stay strong to the last minute, last second. Sticking with it. 10 to go. Almost there. 3, 2, 1. Easy gear. Take a drink. Woohoo! Down to a 3-minute effort and a 2-minute effort. Wow. That is fast. So that means you only have 5 minutes of endurance left. 2 minutes of zone 4. I know you can make that happen. I'd love to know how they calculate these things, but some of the things on this fun facts, I'm like, who is sitting around figuring this out? All right, let's go. Time for the 3-minute effort. Settle in. Get right to that cadence. Right at that effort level. You should be able to get there pretty easily now. The body's been there before, so it will easily start to adapt. That's why we keep mixing it up, because the body easily adapts to what you're asking it to do. That's why you switch up your strength training, switch up your cycling workouts. Just want to keep it at a level that has the body guessing. Just 3 minutes here. So this is the one. Bicycles are great for the planet. They save upwards of 238 million gallons gasoline every year. How do they figure that out? I don't get that one. Maybe somebody has an answer for me. So the yearly cost of maintenance for a bicycle is 20 times cheaper than for a car. Maybe not nowadays. Wonder when they did these studies. This is a good one. I like this one. There are more than 400 active cycling clubs in the United States. Just in our little area here, we have a number of them. BTC&J, Morris area freewheelers. We have the New York Cycle Club. We have the All On Club. I'm sure I'm forgetting Major Taylor. Sure I'm forgetting a few, but just think about it. In this very small portion of like northern New Jersey, we probably have between 5 and 7 clubs that we have access to. Wow, this one's going fast. I almost made you guys go longer. 3 minutes is up. Bring up your tempo. 1 minute easy. After this effort's over, keep it strong for the next 45 seconds. 2 minutes is going to feel like nothing. Great job. Hanging in there. I know I'm sweating. Sure you are. Especially since my little fan, it needed a charge. And I didn't give it any charge. Ten seconds. 3, 2, 1. Easy gear. Woo! 1 minute. Nice and easy. Are you almost done with that water bottle? Keep drinking it till it is nothing left. All right, the last one coming your way. 2 minutes. Super easy to do 2 now. And keep it where it's been previously. Don't let your effort drop. But again, don't go too hard. Keep it within that zone 3. Sometimes it's harder to work on these longer zone 3 efforts than it is to work on the short sprints. All right, find your gear. Let's go. Just 2 minutes. And then the workout's over. We got a 3-minute total. And then we're going to cool it down and be done for the night. Keep it there, right where you need it. How many bikes can fit in the same area of a single car parking space? Believe it or not, 15. I'd like to see how they stack them up in there. The country with the most cycling enthusiasts is Denmark. In 2016, the number of bikes outnumbered the number of cars in Copenhagen for the first time ever. 36% of their workforce commutes by bike. Wish we could get that here. We just need better systems of safe travel. I think Copenhagen is one of those places that has lots of bike trails. Almost to the end of 2. 1 hard effort left to go. Allow yourself to make this last one your best one, because you know the drill. This is when it counts. Let's go. Last minute. Nice and strong. Consistent effort. Force yourself to work this last 30 seconds. Come on now. Think your legs are light. Get them to go around in that nice even circle. Feel your core helping you. 5, 3, 2. Woo! Easy gear. Spin it out. Nice job. I'm going to give you a minute to kind of cool it down, and then we'll cool it down even more. Take a drink. So it's good. The good part about this workout is you got all kinds of adaptation. The muscles had to think about just being consistent in your pedal stroke. Then you forced it just to go a little harder. And that was good. So we're going to work through a few gears. You know how I like to finish these workouts? A little bit of fast legs. So give me 1, 2, 3 harder gears. I want you to just pedal. I don't care what your cadence is. I want you to pedal where you start to feel no effort in the pedal stroke. Just let your legs get super light. What I always think about is pulling my feet up off of the pedals, but not changing the angle of my feet. So that means I'm kind of pulling from my ankles, believe it or not. Keeps your feet kind of light, forces your legs to work in a different way. Keeps your legs light and not firing. Go ahead and give yourself one easier gear. Continue to feel that light motion, almost as if the pedals are on a motor and they're moving on their own, and your legs just happen to be attached to the crank arms as it moves around. Nice and light. Heart rate should not be affected here. If anything, you're doing this to bring your heart rate down. So don't really force yourself to go hard here. This is a cool down period. Just enough to bring the legs back to life after the workout. Feel your heart rate start to come down. One more easier gear. Should almost be to the top of your cassette. Not quite there yet though. I can vouch for this one that the study says 10% of the workforce in New York City commutes by bike. There's actually a Ridgewood commuter group. I'm not sure exactly if they're still consistently riding together, but they go and ride in as a group to stay safe. And then if they want to ride home together, they have a meeting point, or they meet up along the way and they ride up back out of the city. Most of them live in the Ridgewood area or around in Bergen County. It's kind of cool, especially when you have a group that you can be a part of, and you know that you're going to be with other riders in the morning. All right, one more easier gear. This should be the easiest gear on your bike, and this should feel super easy. Just letting those legs spin. So riding a bike can help you save up to $1,200 a year on your gym membership. To put it in perspective, an average gym membership in the US costs between $30 and $100 a month. Well, obviously they haven't been any gyms around here. You could go for $150 a month at some gyms. All right, keep it light. We're almost to the end. Have you finished your water bottle? If you haven't, get in those last few sips. And remember, what's our question? Everybody has to answer. What is the cost of the most expensive bike sold at Sotheby's? All right. That is the workout. Great job, everybody. All right.